Got the four horsemen back on the damn pod, baby. My dog Justin Frazier, Nick Wilkins, and Logan Peter with the nice mansion in the back. Yo, play us some tunes on that piano, kid, because I know you got it on and popping.
Not right now. You know, the Eagles haven't been good enough.
You're not ready to play. You don't feel that. You don't see that positive vibes.
No, not yet. Once if I see another Dallas Cowboy blowout, maybe I'll start getting back there and playing.
There we go. There we go.
yeah.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that at the end of the pod, dude. Not right now, dude. But how y'all doing, man?
Living life.
Vibing. Everybody working hard. I know it for a fact.
For sure.
Getting promotions out here, getting raises out here. Motherfuckers getting haircuts for the pods.
That's good.
Logan got that line.
You know, Freezy needed it.
Yeah, I ain't needed it, bro. It was about that. It was getting close.
About that time. That's what's up, man. But we'll start it off right here, man. And your 76ers, Logan, bro, they have a little nightmare going on with Paul George. He hyperextended his knee last night against the Atlanta Hawks, which they won, by the way. I think it was by like 8 points. But just with that knee injury, man, that shit like a little suspect, man. How you feeling about him getting injured in a preseason game before the season even starts?
I mean, it's never ideal, right? The Eagles. Well, they do too. But the Sixers don't really have a great injury history, especially in the last decade or so. So it's definitely was a little worrisome. But, Nick Nurse just came out today, actually, and said it was just a hyperextension. They're not too concerned about it. He should probably sit the rest of the preseason. I know there's not a lot left, but I don't even really understand why they get run every single day in practice. And we all know how the NBA is. I mean, everybody sits whenever they want. But yeah, it was a little scary at first. He's $240 million man coming in, and everybody can slow the brakes on the big injury though. Luckily, and they should be all right.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Nick, you think it was just a little minor injury, or you think it was more than that?
As of right now, I think it's minor, but it just shows you of what's to come. Because you got Joel Embiid and PG on the same team. Is it really that much different than the Clippers? With Kawhi and PG always getting hurt? I don't know. I want to see them both be on the court and play at a crazy high level, because we all know that they can do that. They both can play at a high level on the court if they stay on the court, especially with Maxey running the show. Oh my goodness. If they all could play, it'd be great. But the injury history, it's scary. It's scary. It's hard to put all your chips on that. It's hard. It's difficult.
Facts. And you brought up a great point on how their season would end up going on. But Justin, you think that this would derail their season a little bit if PG goes down, or you think they'll still try to make the playoffs with Maxey and Embiid, obviously, if they're healthy?
I don't think they would still make the playoffs, but as me and Logan both know, Logan especially being a Joel Embiid defender, it's getting harder and harder out here to keep defending him when he's not healthy, when it's time to be healthy, April through June. So, I mean, I think PG will be cool. I think the Sixers will be a real good regular season team, per usual. And I think Maxey even takes another step. But can PG and Embiid be healthy come April? I'll probably put my money on no, sadly.
We'll take the under on that for sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, though, with Embiid coming out too recently and saying I don't think I'll ever be able to play back-to-backs again anymore and things of that nature. Like stuff like that comes out, and especially by your star players, you're not too thrilled with it. It's not something you enjoy to hear. But at the same time too, it's like if they can just find a way, like you just said, Justin, if you could just find a way to get all three of them to stay healthy, just when you need them. Like you again, they're a great regular season team. Honestly, if you just let Maxey play with the roster that they have around him without those two guys, I still think they would sneak in as a 7 or 8. So you just need these two guys to be healthy when it matters, and by all means necessary. Like you have to just make sure that Embiid especially, but Paul George too. They're both aging guys. If they're both healthy, when it matters, that's when they can play their best ball and be at their best. They're gonna be a problem. It's easy to see it, but at the same time, you guys like Nick especially, you guys hit it on the head. Like if they play a lot in the regular season and they're torn up and gassed by the time the playoffs show up, every other star player, especially in the East, they're usually there, and they saw it in New York last year. So
I think even if you look at like the Sixers in recent history, like when they traded Jimmy Butler to keep Tobias, like Paul George gives them an element they really haven't had in a while. That wing scorer, really a wing scorer and defender. So if Paul can just be there and be healthy, and like I said, I expect Maxey to take another leap from where he was at last year. This can be a conference finals team. It really can be a finals team, but to everyone's point, we said the same shit. They just got to stay healthy when it comes to playoff time.
Yeah, it's talent. Talent's not the issue. And we all know that talent is not the issue. It's about them staying on the court. I think as long as one of the two is on the court for most of the season, they're going to make the playoffs. They'll at least make the play in. I mean, Tyrese is too talented, and obviously PG and Joel are way too talented to not make the playoffs, but they got to stay on that court. They got to. Best ability is availability.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, 100%. And I think this is probably one of their best, at least Embiid, this is probably his best surrounding cast he's had in his career.
Definitely.
I mean, the guy's coming
Kelly
off the
Oubre
bench.
off like what, $1 deal?
Yeah,
Like
Caleb Martin coming in for
Doritos
relatively cheap. I mean,
Arizona.
Kyle Lowry coming back. Reggie Jackson's
Reggie Jackson
back
was
there.
That's a nice backup
Gordon's
point guard right
back
there.
Andre Drummond's back. They have a great surrounding cast.
I can't. You're not done. You're not done. Thank God they got rid of Glenn Anton Rivers.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, Nick Nurse actually calls plays.
Glenn Anton, if you can't tell.
Yeah, I mean Doc was something else, man. I'll tell you what. I like the kid from the French national team too. Or not a kid, I guess. He's been around, but they have a great surrounding cast. Again, and I really do think Tyrese Maxey is going to be one of the best point guards in the league by the end of this year. I mean, that could be a homer statement, but I've seen enough from him.
Top 5 in the East for sure.
Yeah, I've seen enough from him to realize okay, like he's a superstar. So when you have 3 perennial superstars on your team, it's all about health. It always has been. And I mean, you look at LA and how it's kind of deteriorate, the Clippers, I should say. You can see how it's deteriorate. Even the Lakers, though, like LeBron's aging, and Anthony Davis isn't as good of a player as he once was. So you need it. You need superstars that are healthy. And Boston's had it the last couple of years. That's why they're always there and have been winning. I mean, so that's what you need. The NBA is such a star power league. It's if you don't got it, you got nothing.
Yeah, facts. But my thing, like with the Sixers themselves, right? They have a star-studded team, like you're saying, and if they could stay together and be healthy in the playoffs, I think they could make a run at anybody, at the Bucks, at the Celtics, at the Heat, at the Cleveland Cavaliers, at whoever comes in their way. I think they can actually go toe-to-toe and win 7-game series around them and actually get to the NBA Finals finally under Joel Embiid, right? But just taking with the PG situation, like, there are some players that are just super injury prone and some players that are not, and they get so lucky and healthy that they could play for a lifetime. And I just feel like PG's already coming to that age, that limit for him in playing basketball, professional basketball against these top athletes, fast, super skilled, jump high as hell. And he's trying to stay with them, stay in the same path as them and stay in pace as them. And to me, man, it just feels like he needs to call it quits, man. Like too many big time injuries that are happening to him, and you got to think about the future you have with your kids, with your family. If you want to walk, you want to continue to do stuff with them and be active. Like if you're gonna keep going down this road of still trying to play at a professional high level, and you keep getting these major injuries because there haven't been minor for him, they've been major injuries, dude. It's just gonna come down to at the end of the day. Do I want to be able to walk in the future, or am I just going to try and keep pushing my limits to try to get an NBA chip or keep playing the game that I love? So it's like, to me, man, it's tough, bro. I just feel like at some point you got to say, I can't.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that and that.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. But
the
he
Meg-
got all the
the
money.
Meg-
He got all
he
the
does.
money.
He does have all
It's
the
the
money.
ring,
but
bro. It's the ring, and he wants to continue to play. I feel that, bro.
Yeah.
Me, I can't stop
think,
playing
yeah, he's
sports.
just
It's
in
so hard
love.
to give up, bro.
Dude,
Especially guys that played at such a high level like that.
I
Like
know, man.
even with D Rose just retiring, it's like you think
man.
about it. You think about it a lot, and you're like, dang,
That
like,
hurt.
yeah, like
That hurt.
he
Okay.
probably
yeah, bro.
he
Nah,
probably
for real.
he probably could have kept going, but at the end of the day, like he's at the age too where like you just gotta think about that type of thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
bro.
I agree. And PG, I mean, he's sitting at what 31, 32 now. So I mean, he still could test his limits, I think, in a way to where it might benefit. And maybe he's a little bit older than that now, right? He's like 34,
He's
35
like
now,
he's
right?
like a little under 35 for sure.
Yeah, 34,
So,
35 around there. Yeah, he's been in the league for such a long time, man. I was thinking about it. I was like, wait, AD's around 30. He can't be the same the same
He's
age as Paul
34.
George. 34, yeah, okay.
yeah.
So this is his last big contract. I mean, regardless of if he plays great through the 4 years or not, he's not getting another max. So
No.
this is it for PG, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
this is, and I think honestly, it's the best chance he's I mean, again, Kawhi, you always have a chance with Kawhi, but he was never on the court. Like, he was out there with Russ. He was out there with Russ trying to win. He did that in Oklahoma City. It didn't work. So, like, I don't know. This is the last big chance. He's got a big
Okay.
opportunity here.
My last point for it, I know we gotta probably change with Nick, George. I want to go, but I think even if you look at the East, Logan made the point of the Celtics being healthy the last few years, but really that's been about it. The Heat, I mean, Jimmy Butler missed last year. You had the Bucks. Giannis hasn't been hurt. Giannis hasn't been healthy the last two postseasons, and even Dame is aging. You got the Knicks. Trust me, as a D-Rose super fan, we know about Tibbs. Tibbs will drive you to that crowd, man. Tibbs will drive you to that ground. So if the Knicks aren't healthy, I mean, this really is, in my opinion, it's about as clear of a path as you could get for the 76ers. Not saying anybody will be hurt or healthy. We obviously would not know. But if there was ever a chance for Embiid to make his finals, this would be it.
Definitely. I feel like they have a great chance, man. If they all stay healthy, bro, don't get me wrong. I want to see my Miami Heat go all the way to the end. That's never going to change. But, dude, Philly has a great chance. Obviously, Boston is still there. Cleveland, they have a great defensive team. They got to work on their offense a little more. The Orlando Magic, the same thing with them. I mean, there's a lot of contenders in the East for sure. But Philly, the way they're constructed right now, I think they're one or two to make it to the NBA Finals out of the Eastern Conference, in my opinion.
If they're healthy.
Man. If they're healthy.
If they're healthy.
If they're healthy. All right, let's move on to some NFL football, dog, because we had some great trades today. Davonte Adams of the Las Vegas Raiders has been traded to the New York Jets. Raiders will receive a conditional third-round draft pick, but it could improve to a second-round draft pick. And then on another team in the same division, Amari Cooper has been traded to the Buffalo Bills. From the Cleveland Browns, the Bills will receive Amari Cooper, a 2025 sixth-round draft pick, for a 2025 third-round draft pick and a seventh-round selection in the 2026 NFL draft. Nick, I'll go with you first, man. Were you surprised at any of these trades? You could pick one or the other. Adams to Jets, Cooper to the Bills. Were you surprised of any of these trades?
Davonte Adams going to the Jets, I was absolutely not surprised of. That was not surprising at all. I mean, Rodgers obviously wanted his guy back and Adams wanted out, so it was really a match made in heaven for them. However, it doesn't make up for how bad their O-line has been playing. The play calling with Hackett not calling the plays will be better, and we saw that it was better on Monday night. So going forward with Davonte and Rodgers running that back, that could be fun to watch, especially with Garrett Wilson being a wide receiver too. That's kind of crazy. And the Amari Cooper trade, I was not expecting at all. I know the Bills had to go after somebody because that wide receiver core was. It is. But the deal they got for Amari Cooper, I mean, did they rob Cleveland? They walk up in there with a gun? Like, I know Amari hasn't played amazing this season. There's been a lot of drops, but I'm not going to lie. That Cleveland offense, it looks like no one wants to play for Deshaun Watson. I think that's the biggest issue there. It looks like no one wants to play for him. And why would you? You know what I mean? Like, you want to rally behind your quarterback. every player does on their team. In that Cleveland team, the biggest issue to me looks like no one cares. No one wants to play for him. I don't know. It could be just me, but it looked like I feel like that's the biggest issue. Is like no one wants to play for this guy at quarterback who they're paying all this guaranteed money to that no one trusts. So Amari Cooper, I think, can take a step with the Bills. It's a way bigger step.
I think they need to let Watson get his massages again, dog, because that boy has not been the same after that. Pray for him, dog. Pray for him. He need them. He needs them.
Yeah.
But Justin, with Davonte Adams going to the Jets, how is this gonna look for their offense, and how much of an improvement will their offense get?
The major improvement they made was demoting Nathaniel Hackett from play calling. So already,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He had to go.
Had to.
I think when you look at the team, when you look at who they played thus far, it's been a lot of focus on Garrett Wilson. So like, if you're not really watching, you're like, why is Garrett Wilson not impacting the game? Well, he really has been. He's been opening things up for Lazard, Conklin, even Brees at times. Well, not the last few, not prior to last night, Brees can get shit. But now you got, like Nick said, you got Garrett Wilson at wide receiver 2. You can't just double Garrett all the time at wide receiver 2. And Garrett is arguably a top 10 receiver, definitely talent-wise. And then I think what Davonte will be able to do, like giving him tips and tricks to improve his game at a young age, that he'll be able to take through the rest of his career, just learning under Davonte for the rest of this season, maybe next season. I think that will do wonders for him. But like the offense as a whole, that's a lot of talent. Like even I'm not the biggest Lazard fan, but Lazard at wide receiver 3 is nice. So now you got Garrett, Lazard, Adams, Braylon, Brees, like Aaron Rodgers. You have no excuses, my friend. You have
a lot of talent.
People you can trust, because we all know Aaron Rodgers only throws to people he trusts. Well, you trust Davonte for sure. You trust Lazard. You and Garrett finally got on the same page these last 2 weeks. So, I mean, I think the offense will be explosive. I think over time, maybe not this week against the Steelers, but as time goes on, and I do think they have some winnable games coming up to where they can string some stuff together and compete for, if not the AFC East, definitely a wild card spot.
Yeah, no, definitely. Logan, I want to hear your thoughts on the Jets, and then I'll ask you in a bit about the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, as far as Davonte coming, I think a lot of people expected that. I know Mike Greenberg was saying it for months, that he would be shocked if, he wasn't a Jet by Halloween. He got his wish. Most Jets fans did. I don't think they all expected to be 2-4 at this point. You could tell last night, kind of what Justin was saying, there was a lot of, I don't know, just Aaron Rodgers kind of feels like he's double clutching every once in a while. And sometimes he just doesn't like throwing to guys. That's who he is. And we have to kind of, at this point, we all know it. Like he's out there. He's not always an in the box type thinker. I think that's the best way I could put it about Aaron Rodgers, but he's a damn good football player. And I know a lot of people trust him not to run a team per se, but I mean, he basically ran the team in Green Bay. He did what he wanted and got who he wanted in there. And the Jets, they gave him 2 years, and they've been poverty for so long that it's like, all right, dude, please build us up and take us out and at least give us a starting point when you retire. Because that's all I think New York really wants. Obviously, anything more than that is a bonus, but getting butts in the seats, I think is a lot more important. I'm not saying the Jets never lost their fans or anything like that, but dude, it's hard to go out there and watch Zach Wilson throw 3 picks and score 6 points a week, man. Like that's tough, dude. Like, and that's been happening for the last 10 years now. The Jets have done nothing since Mark Sanchez, and really he didn't do much either. So it's been tough for Jets fans, man. So I'm kind of excited. I got a couple of Jets fans that are really excited about the trade. Davonte Adams is who he is. I mean, when he's on the field, again, this is another guy who is a superstar. I mean, he's put up the stats his entire career. He's got 5 or 6 plus 1,200 or more yard seasons. I mean, he scores at will, and he's done a lot of it with Aaron Rodgers. So why not go back and keep going and try to figure it out again for just a different squad?
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's why I feel like it's going to be that this is a great trade just for the league in general, because you got a receiver and a quarterback that used to do it together, and now they're going to play on the same team again, which they have high aspirations to actually get to the bowl, and they probably can with that top 10 defense. And now how their offense is looking, the only thing for me is it's always been the Achilles heel has always been the offensive line. The offensive line, if they do not improve, Rodgers is gonna keep getting so much pressure out there. There's only been 2 games that he's been able to do stuff, which was last night against the Bills, and then it was probably week 2 or week 3 when they played on
The
Monday Night
Patriots.
Football. Against the Patrioons. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing work. He finished the game like 24 for 27 or something like that, with like 2 touchdowns and like 250 plus yards. And if you got O-line that is blocking for him, he's gonna do work. You saw it last night. He's gonna get the ball to the receivers that he wants to get the ball to, because that's a great point that you guys made. He only throws it to people that he trusts. And now you bring in a receiver that was making so much money with him and winning so many games with him. Now you're gonna improve your offense even more, but you still gotta focus on what's important, and that's in the trenches. If the offensive line is not blocking for the run game and the pass game, the Jets are not going to go anywhere, bro. There's too many good teams in the AFC conference that you got to beat. The Chiefs, the Ravens, the Texans. The list goes on and on. Like, even the Dolphins could have done something if they kept Tua healthy. But right now with the Jets, man, for me, it's always been the offensive line. And for the people out there that say that Aaron Rodgers cannot do what he does because he's old, he's slow, he's not the same player, bro, you guys are not watching football, bro. He did it last night. He's done it before. Just watch the offensive line in the trenches, and then you'll see what the hell's going on.
George got a little passion right there, boy.
I mean, he's spitting. That offensive line has not looked good.
He knows bad offensive line play when he sees it.
Yeah. Bro, dude.
I mean, Tyron Smith.
I played tight end. I had to block a lot of times, and
Tyron Smith has been getting cooked. I know he just came off that big injury, but dog, he's
an old
cooked.
man.
He's getting fried out there. He's getting fried. I've seen a few blindside hits where Aaron Rodgers didn't see him coming. Just boom.
Dude, there was even a play where they actually had a pretty good rollout to Breece Hall, and he was coming out on the flat, and Rasul Douglas, who might be 150 pounds smaller than Tyron Smith, and basically, probably 4 inches smaller too. All he had to do is move his body a little bit, and Tyron Smith's whole body where it tried to go right through him, and he completely missed him, and Rasul Douglas bobbed him up in the backfield. It's like, I don't know, dude. I agree with you, George. I mean, Aaron Rodgers can only do so much. When he only have 2 seconds to throw the ball, it's tough to find receivers open, and especially considering the fact that a lot of the teams that the Jets have played and will continue to play, because again, the AFC East is a gauntlet. They have pretty good secondaries. I mean, Buffalo's got a great secondary. They disguise schemes super well. I mean, even on the interception, I know Justin's a big 22 watcher, but I saw it yesterday. They disguised a 2 safety back like it was nobody's business. And Aaron Rodgers, he explained it in the press conference as well, but he ran the wrong route, Mike Williams. And guess what? When 2 safeties are back there, though, they're going to read that all day long. And Johnson did, and you saw what happened. That was a big play in the game.
You can't be running the wrong route at the most important time in the game, bro. What is that, dog? Are we not professionals out here, or are we? Are we watching amateur little league, or we're watching the NFL? What is going on, dog?
Greg Zuerlein missed that 32-yard field goal. We might have been watching JV.
Yeah,
and Tyler Bass too. He missed another field goal.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what. To be fair, the wind, bro, the wind was
yesterday,
bro. Like in the area, like it still is. It's been bad for a while, but it's definitely no excuse, bro.
That Bass
in the NFL.
was crazy.
I wasn't mad at the Bass was trash.
Ruin my
I'm not even mad at the 47-yard one. I don't care about that. That's fine. The 32-yard one, Jesus Christ.
Come on, man. It's an extra point, or basically, like
it's less. It's less.
Yep. But let's take with the Bills right here. Let me go back to Logan. See what exactly you think about this Amari Cooper trade to the Buffalo Bills. Is it gonna give them that much hope to maybe try to get the number 1 seed in this conference, or it's not really gonna do that much?
I love it for Buffalo personally, because they're one of the few teams in the league that their quarterback can create his own time, and he does it quite well. And Amari Cooper, he could get open downfield. It's just in Cleveland, they had no dude. Trust me, dude. I watched it last week. The Eagles have been the worst pass rushing team in the league going into last week, and I think they got Deshaun 7 times or 6 times, something like that. That O-line is horrible, and I love to hate Deshaun Watson. I really do. But the receivers have it even worse, bro. They have no chance to get downfield. And really, last year, he still made the most of it. He had 1,200 yards last year, Amari Cooper, and I think he had 5 touchdowns. So he had a pretty productive year, and really when he shouldn't even have had any production whatsoever. He's walking into a situation that I think he's going to enjoy. Again, he's another guy though. He loves getting soft tissue injuries. He's been doing it since he was in Oakland or Vegas now. But yeah, he's been doing it all his whole career. He even had a couple in Alabama. His hamstrings have always been an issue, but he's a great player when he's on the field. He really is. And again, the drops have been an issue like Nick mentioned as well, but overall, he's way better than anything that they have in that
100%.
wide receiver room right now. I think Keon Coleman is going to eventually become a really good player in this league, but he's got to develop. That's not something that not everybody gets to look like Malik Neighbors right out of the get-go. So, but yeah, Amari Cooper is a great guy to learn from too, especially when, he's been doing it for close to 10 years now. I think when he get drafted in 15 Freeze, I know you know that. 16? Something like that.
I think you're on the money with 15. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
15.
I think in the
It's
middle
15. It was 15 first.
Yeah, something like that. So he's been doing it for a long time, man. I mean, we're getting old, man. We think about 15, 10 years ago now almost. Like, man, so who better to learn from? A guy that's been doing it not just at the college level, not just at the pro level, but he's been doing it at a high level his entire career.
Yep.
Yeah,
I used to watch him at Northwestern. Crazy.
I don't know if
by the way,
it brings them to a 1 or 2, because I really think Houston has such not an easy path, but their division games, man, like their division is a joke. That division is a joke.
Walk.
And Houston's defense is so well coached now that they really don't even need, like, the offense is productive. Don't get me wrong, but like Nico Collins goes out, and I don't even think, like, it sucks, but nobody skips a beat, man. Like, Houston's got something rolling down there that is going to be hard to contain, and we can't even obviously we can't forget Mahomes. He's basically like an infinite 1 seed, bro. Like, it's tough to get him out of that spot. They did one time, and guess what? He still made the Super Bowl, bro. So
still dog walked everybody into their stadiums. So
it's going to be tough for Buffalo. Come on, Buffalo has been walked over a couple times by that same team, has been walked over by a couple other teams as well. They know who they got to get around. It's nothing new for Josh Allen and the Bills. It's nothing new for McDermott. They all know what they have to do. I do think Amari Cooper helps that spot, but again, it's a juggernaut of a conference. It has been the last couple of years, ever since Mahomes really walked in and Brady walked out. He's kind of he's taking it by the nuts, bro. And nobody's taking it from him yet. Joe Burrow did one time and he couldn't finish.
No didn't. Justin, what do you think? What do you think about this trade, Amari Cooper to the Bills?
I think Logan hit it on the head pretty well. I mean, if you look at the Bills receiving core specifically in that Texans game, there's no separation except for Khalil Shakir, who didn't play in that Texans game, and Josh Allen ended up going 9 for 30. You can blame it on him if you want to, but in reality, when you have to trust Mac Hollins to go beat Derek Stingley or Marquez Valdez-Scantling to go beat Kamari Lassiter, those aren't really – that's not who you want to go get you a first down in a big game. And so you saw the Bills' offense in their 2-game losing streak against the Texans and the Ravens. They really couldn't get off the ground, especially in the pass game, so that bogs up the run game. This week, they get Shakir back, and the offense was a little bit better. Not quite clicking fully, but the run game was going, even without James Cook. So I think adding Amari Cooper, somebody Josh Allen can trust, giving him a bona fide number 1 wide receiver that can separate. Obviously, we know what Amari Cooper can do. He's been a top 5 route runner basically since he entered the league. So now you add that to go along with Kincaid. Like I said, James Cook. You still got Shakir. Like Logan said, hopefully Keon Coleman develops over time. This can be a really good offense as the season progresses and the more chemistry Allen and Cooper get. So I'm excited to see it. I'm really excited to see the Bills and the Jets in the rematch, because I do think the Jets can make a nice run going forward. And for sure, I know the Bills can. So,
yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see Coop actually again with another great quarterback, and I think that he's going to be another security blanket for Josh Allen, just like Duncan Kincaid, and he's probably going to get like maybe 5 to 7 catches a game, probably 10 targets a game, and he's going to get probably almost a touchdown every game now going forward with Josh Allen. I don't think that offense is going to miss a beat. I think the offense is going to be perfectly fine like they are right now, and they're going to improve a little more, obviously. But for me, with the Bills, man, like it's that rush defense, bro. They cannot stop the run for nothing. And if you can't stop the run, bro, how do you expect your defense as a whole to be great? Like you need to be out there to stop the run because then offenses can do whatever they want against you. They could do play action, they could throw it deep, they could throw it short, they could run outside zone, they could run inside zone, they could run power, and it's just like at the end of the day, yeah, your offense can be top tier and you could score 40 points a game. But if the other team is scoring 40 points a game and you're going up against Mahomes, you're going up against CJ Stroud, and then you're going up against these top tier running backs. If Pacheco comes back, Joe Mixon is playing, how are you going to be able to win and go all the way forward to the bowl that you guys are trying to go to? So I feel like they need to improve that rush defense, and they do need Von Miller back. I feel like he's going to come back this week if I'm not mistaken. But, dude, man, that rush defense for me, man, it's a joke.
I think you made a valid point. I know, nigga, I go real quick. I know you made a valid point with the rush defense just because out of all the teams we just talked about as AFC contenders, the Bills arguably have the worst rush defense, but the Jets aren't too far behind them. The Jets are pretty bad as well. They had a stretch in between week 1 and last night where they got better, but last night it started to rear its ugly head again. And so if you can't stop the run against obviously the freaking Ravens or the Chiefs when they get Pacheco back, your season will be coming to an abrupt halt pretty early. So,
yeah. And I mean, George, I think you hit it on the head more about. I mean, every team that has any success running the football has had success running the football against the Bills. I mean, Arizona did it week 1. We saw what happened with Baltimore. I mean, that was just a train wreck in itself. So, I mean, and that freak train runs through everybody. But Breece Hall was dominant last night, dude. And like Freeze said, he hasn't done nothing all year, bro, before yesterday. He did nothing all year. And again, that might be because of play calling and everything like that. But I don't know, dude. Again, I agree with you. The teams are just, they're too good in the AFC to have something as big as one position, like defensive line or offense, like the trenches or the skill positions. If they're a tier below guys like Kansas or teams like Kansas City and teams like Houston or teams like Baltimore, to be honest as well. I mean, Zay Flowers has looked like a superstar wide receiver again too. So you don't stand a chance against those teams if you can't stop everything or score with them. I think Amari Cooper again does help with that situation, and I really do agree with you, George. I think he's going to get 10 targets a game, and I think he'll be a lot more open than anybody that Josh Allen has been thrown to this season.
Yeah, definitely. Nick, you got anything to add before we move on to the next topic here?
I think y'all are on the money. I mean, that rush defense is atrocious. It's awful. Like, they can't stop anybody. Like y'all said, Breece Hall has done absolutely nothing. I know fantasy owners who drafted him are sick to their stomachs. Except for that Monday night game. The Bills let him run all over the place. But I think Amari Cooper, it definitely helps the offense. And if he could teach, Keon Coleman a little bit about route running, that helps his development so much because he's already an athletic specimen. He's tough, but the route running could definitely improve. And Amari Cooper is a great player to learn from. I mean, he did actually have over 1,200 yards last year. So we know he can still do it. I just think he needed a change of scenery because everybody that's in Cleveland right now probably doesn't want to be in Cleveland right now.
Facts. Even though that defense is good, but
that defense is so talented, bro. But I don't even think they want to be there.
Before we get off the topics of trades real quick, Mr. Media, I'd like to hear what you think about this one that just happened about 15 minutes ago.
Breaking news by Logan Peter.
Yeah, Houston trading their backup running back Cam Akers to Minnesota. So the Vikings are getting Cam Akers.
They're getting him back, right? He was there before.
Yeah, he was there last year.
He was there last year for a little bit.
They traded for him twice.
Yep. So he's going back for a 6th. And I guess that means Joe Mixon's completely healthy, but I guess that also means that Aaron Jones isn't being relied upon a little bit less than we think over there.
Well, he got what was it? It was a hamstring injury.
It was hamstring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's
with hamstring injuries, folks,
they linger.
They linger all year. And if you got an explosive running back like Aaron Jones with a hamstring injury, you better be worried because he's not going to be explosive no more. It's going to be hard for him to catch the ball on the outside routes. It's going to be hard for him to run up the middle, run up the seam. This is going to be tough. So, you got Ty Chandler back there, but he hasn't really been showing much. You bring in Cam Akers, that those 2 games that he started, he did do a lot of work. So Minnesota's looking at that like, you know what? Let's bring back the boy.
Yeah, that's who I was about to ask. I forgot who their backup was, but yeah, it's Ty Chandler, and yeah, when he's been in, he hasn't done anything. So I can on a really explosive offense. To be fair, the first couple weeks of the season. So
yeah, and Akers already knows the playbook, so it makes sense.
Exactly.
It makes sense. Yeah. And Dameon Pierce, it looked like they could trust him more at RB2 after last week.
And he Cam Akers looked good in
he's looked solid
in the time that he got in Houston last week. So we'll see.
All right. Let's jump to the Eagles versus Browns. Jump to Logan's team versus the Cleveland Browns that we just talked about yesterday. No, not yesterday. 2 days ago, the Philadelphia Eagles hosted the Cleveland Browns, beat them 20-16. Jalen Hurts had a pretty good game. Saquon Barkley had a decent game. A.J. Brown, after being out for 2 weeks, had a great game. And their whole offense was just clicking on all cylinders, really. But just to start off with Logan, since it's your team, what you think about the game overall and how the Eagles are looking so far? Be honest.
They made the most of who they had on the schedule this week, in my opinion. They looked okay. AJ's been out for the last 4 weeks with that hamstring injury that he suffered in week 1, so that's obviously a massive piece to have. He's one of the best receivers in football. Showed it again. 6 catches, 116 and a touch. Jalen Hurts looked better. There's still things about Jalen's game that I just don't recognize like I used to. He doesn't quite go through his progressions like he used to. And I don't know if that's play calling or something else that's happening with him, but it just doesn't seem like he's reading defenses as well as he did in his first 2 seasons. But I also think that, that attests to having to pick up all these things that Jason Kelsey picked up for him basically the last couple of years, and reading defenses a bit better at the line of scrimmage. I think that's something that he had to work on, that he's still working on, that unfortunately he's just not great at. Not yet. Saquon has been our bright spot throughout the entire year. I knew as soon as they signed him that he would be that way. He's a superstar. He was the number 2 pick for a reason. When he's on the field, he's tough to stop. He actually probably had one of his worst games, I'd say, against Cleveland, who still has a great defense. I mean, man, if Cleveland, again, everything that's wrong with the Browns is on offense. We all know that, but man, like 95 would look great in green, or something else like
blue and white. Or blue and white.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think he gets traded just because of how much of an impact he really is. But
that'll be dumb.
Man, like the Amari Cooper thing is like, yeah, he's a free agent at the end of the year, so I see why you offload him there. But oh man, there's a lot of pieces on that defense that would look good in other places that I wonder if they do end up selling. To the Eagles' point, I think that division's wide open, so you just got to take advantage of who's in front of you. And luckily for the Eagles, a lot of teams that are in front of them aren't great. I mean, the Giants are next week. I know that. Another team that doesn't look great. They have Jacksonville at some point. They have the Rams at some point. They have the Panthers at some point. So everything's in front of Philadelphia. They've had a couple rough losses, but at the end of the day, a lot of people were missing at the time. They got Lane Johnson back. Jordan Mailata did go down with an injury that he'll probably be out for quite a while. That's a big deal. He's a tough loss for the blind side, but I don't know. Again, the Eagles are what they are. They're a mediocre defense. Vic Fangio knows how to cook those up quite well. And they have no pass rush. So that's something that if you don't have pass rush, they can stop the run like nobody's business. But if a quarterback has all day to throw, there's only so much that the DBs can do. Quinyon Mitchell's going to be an all-pro in 2 to 3 years. So that's nice. But outside of that, I don't see much on the defense that is too enticing. There's not a lot to cheer about when the defense is on the field. But luckily, Deshaun Watson was so bad that there was a couple things to cheer about this week, so I'm okay with that.
Wow, another week of saying Deshaun Watson was bad. Wow, what a trend! What a trend!
That'll happen till week 17.
Yes,
I
it
don't
will.
know. I don't know if it will. I'm not gonna lie. I think eventually Jameis Winston has to come in there and take a job. I mean, if he plays this bad for a nerve 2 to 3 weeks and the defense still looks that good, it's hard to not be like, all right, man, we have to give somebody else a chance just to try it, man.
I
I
think.
feel like you do that already. I feel you pull that plug
Yeah, I
already.
think it would already happen. I think they
Yeah.
already got all the money on him.
There is, I mean,
So
there's
they don't want to pull the plug on it.
Woo!
That's the issue.
Guaranteed
So,
money too. That's the worst part. It's like, yeah, we can't take that back. Yeah,
it's all guaranteed. So I think they're gonna ride with it, and then if he does as bad as we think he's gonna do, they'll have a very high pick, and they'll make do what they got. So
Yo,
I don't
Deshaun,
think they
dog.
pull the plug on him. Sadly, I don't.
Deshaun, I want to let you know, man. You a top finesser, my dog. You a top finesser, man. Hey, mad respect to that, dog. Because
That's
a lot of
great.
people finesse, but you the top. You the top finesser.
To get that money all guaranteed after what happened.
Crazy, bro.
I'm
Crazy.
still-
telling you, bro.
I know the rest of the owners of the league hate Cleveland. I know
They
do.
started a trend. They had to start.
Yeah, because
paying
now,
motherfuckers after that.
yeah, of course. Every other quarterback saw this piece of garbage get that. What?
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 Whoa. At the time.
Oh,
that
no.
he got
His
it.
character, not his play.
Okay.
I was calling him a piece
it's-
of garbage.
Yeah, his
Not his-
character's
he-
always
he-
been garbage. He was a great player when he got the contract.
Yeah,
we
player,
know that,
no.
but-
Oh, my
Man,
goodness.
that's another reason why I feel like the man is so guilty. It hurts because he's got to have something gnawing at him, bro. Like there's something
Dude.
else he's worrying about besides
He's-
football, bro. It has to
Bro,
be.
he misses
Oh,
the
yeah.
massages, bro. He
Bro,
misses them.
it's-
I'm telling you,
Something
his
else
play
is
not the
definitely on
same,
his
bro.
mind.
That's
Something
something,
else is
not
definitely
the
on
same,
his
dog.
mind.
something more important than the game has to
Mhm.
be on that man's mind.
Yeah.
Like there's
And It looks like the rest of the offense doesn't want to play for him too.
No, and
like
that's-
it really no
Ugh.
one's rallied behind that man.
Maybe it'll be
And
different when.
Why
Nick
would you
Chubb
want to be?
comes back.
I'm telling you, when you can make the Eagles defense look good, then whew, wow,
Yeah, the
you
pass
must
rush
be
look good,
horrific.
bro.
Yeah, that's that too.
Bro.
Yeah. Man.
Justin, what do you think on this game and the final result of this game, or what each team their season has become?
I'm gonna be honest. They won me some money, so thanks to the Eagles.
Yes, sir. Me too. Yes,
Oh.
sir.
I was getting a little nervous there at the end. I was gonna send Logan a paragraph with a lot of cuss words in it, but they pulled it out.
I'd have reiterated to Howie for you.
I appreciate you. Philly is a frustrating team just because Logan knows he's a fan. They've got a lot of talent on that team, a lot of talent that isn't really being used at peak potential. I think even when you look at guys like AJ Brown, you look at him in Tennessee, AJ Brown was a really good middle of the field threat that could take a deep end, that could take a slant 60, 70 yards to the house. Well, Jalen Hurts, sadly, is not really a good middle of the field thrower. It's not something he really targets, whether that be play calling or just him. So now you're kind of relying on deep balls and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they have so much talent, they're going to win games. Like Logan said, they got a relatively easy schedule. So as long as they can rely on talent, and the NFC is open, like no NFC team is really taking that mantle early on in the season and be like, we're here. In recent years, it's been San Francisco, but they're struggling. Another year was Philly. Well, we see they're up and down. Dallas, per usual, up and down. Like the Commanders somehow look to be the best team in the NFC right now, which is hilarious. Oh, sorry, Detroit.
Lions.
Nick, I'm sorry, Nick. That's me. But at the end of the day, just Philly, and like Logan made several good points. Obviously, watches ball, so it's like he knows, but there's no pass rush. And I'm waiting. Like I'm sure he is for a Jalen Carter breakout, which he hasn't been bad, but of course, when you draft him to be what he was supposed to be, you would expect more from him at this point. I know there was a lot more expected of Jordan Davis at this point. And for him to not have really taken, for really neither of them, I wouldn't say neither, but I'll say Jordan Davis for sure, not have taken a step forward.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing. And then hopefully Jalen Carter can reach his peak potential, because we saw prior to probably December last year, Logan, correct me if I'm wrong, but probably like mid-December, he was very dominant in those games. And even the Saints game this season, he really took over. So I think it starts with him. If he can create the pass rush, that'll make it easier for the other guys, because he'll get more double teams. And then It opens up. Maybe they call Hassan Reddick back. I don't know, but
Oh, I wish they could. There's some loophole in NFL trades where you can't trade the same guy in
oh,
less
damn,
than a
I
year.
know. Thank you for telling me that. Never mind.
But
Yeah.
yeah, one thing I will say, Jalen Carter has been kind of what I expected, just for the sake of he gets double teamed a lot. He does, and
I was gonna say that.
a center and a guard usually team up on Jalen at least. I'd say 70% of the time he gets to rush. And when he gets one-on-one, he's in the backfield in 2 seconds every single time. The guy that's been the most disappointing has been Bryce Huff, man. I mean, that's a guy that you signed for
Facts.
4 years, 50 mil, expecting him to come and replicate at least half of what Hassan Reddick was giving you. And look, finally, and I mean finally, Vic Fangio let this guy get back in his stance and drive through the ground to help boost him. This guy was standing up like Hassan Reddick the first 4 weeks of the season, and he has never, ever, ever, ever been a rusher that starts in that position. He always starts with his hands in the turf. Let him do what he does. Like, I don't get it. And then last week was the first week that he actually was like showing up in the backfield. He didn't get a sack, but he was showing up in the backfield consistently for the first time. So, I don't know if that's coaching. I don't know. And I really do think that Nick Sirianni has lost that locker room. I hate to say it because the guy he's a nut job, dude. I think he's losing his mind. I really do. I mean, he shaved his head. Like, what's going on with he's arguing with our fans? Like, come on,
Yeah,
bro.
you don't
Like,
want to argue with Philly fans.
but it's like, bro, you've been here for
That just
so
sounds like a
long.
mess.
You know what's coming
Any
if you're
team,
playing
don't wanna
bad.
argue with all them fans.
Logan, I got a question for you, brother. I feel like the funny part about Nick is, does he not fit the Philly culture, brother?
Dude,
He
nah, like,
does.
look, you know what's funny about, because I think the personality is what got him hired, because nothing football-wise stood out above the rest of the candidates that were being, like, interviewed for the position. I don't think anything else stuck out other than the fact that, like what you just said, he's got the personality of Philadelphia. But I don't think that works as the coach of the team,
No,
bro.
that's
Like, he acts more like a
Definitely not.
fan, in my opinion, bro. And he always has. Like, even when they beat the Chiefs last year, bro, in a game that they really shouldn't have won, they got lucky. He comes out talking, oh, that's for you, Chiefs fans. Bro, they beat us in the Super Bowl. We won week 8. And then guess what? They went and won the fucking Super Bowl again. Like, come on, bro. Like, again, like, there's some things that it just, I think, crossed his mind. Like, even last week, he knew he was going to get berated. So he was like, at the press conference after the game, because they didn't play good, so they knew he was going to get questions. So he said, let me bring my kids up, so hopefully they lighten up on the questions for me a bit here, so I don't have to deal with all the heat. Like, there's some things that I just don't like about the man, but again, he's always been that nut job, bro. Like, some of the things he said when he first got hired, like, yeah, we're going to plant seeds and watch them grow, and I'm like, come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this is football. Like, it's football. Come on, grow the roots. I get all the coach talk and stuff like that. But if it doesn't work on your players, like Dan Campbell's got that funky way of coaching as well. But dude, they bought in. Like, they've been bought in. Knicks, even when they took them to the Super Bowl, it never felt like, and I think that could be why Jalen Hurts has such a big person. He's not even like, he doesn't talk a lot in the locker room or anything like that. But dude, he's a leader of men, bro. Like, they follow what
Definitely.
he does. So I don't think they have the best relationship. They haven't for a while. There just seems to be like there's something holding this team back that wasn't necessarily before he arrived. Like, and again, that was before the Hurts era and everything like that. But it just seems like the culture in the locker room is a lot of, we expect to win, and when we're not, we have no fucking clue what to do. Like, and that's kind of how it feels like the Eagles. The Phillies did the same shit. Like, I don't even want to talk about all that yet. I'm not even over all that shit. But bro, they like teams that have that superstar mentality of, like, we're gonna be great. It's awesome when it's working, but when it's not, they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to crawl out of that hole and dig their way out of a tough situation, bro. They never have. In fact, they're always the ones that are up, and that superstar mentality of, yeah, you know what, we're up 10 in the fourth. We got this, bro. Like, this is our game. You see who's playing quarterback, and then boom, in an instant, Drew Lock walks down the field in 90 yards with no timeouts in a minute 20 in your face, and then you really just got blasted. Like, they're that type of team. They have been the last 2 years. They're having an identity crisis, in my opinion. But luckily, the schedule and the division isn't that good. So
Well, I gotta add to my brother's point because he's right. The coaching is from Nick is trash. But then even when you think about who they lost when they went to the Super Bowl, Shane Steichen is
Mm-hmm.
genius. I think he's been vital in a lot of quarterbacks to Herbert and Hurts, and seemingly I'm hoping for Anthony Richardson as well. And then even you lost Gedden, and we thought he'd be crazy in Arizona. Like we thought it'd probably be a one and done firing. He's done a solid job over there. So I mean, losing both of those guys, and then you see the coordinators from last year not do well either. It just shows maybe Sirianni was leaning on the backs of those two guys when they went to the Super Bowl, and maybe they would have been. I mean, you weren't going to hire them after they went to the Super Bowl, but
Nah, but Freezy, I agree with you, dude. Like there were other components to that Super Bowl team that could overshadow a head coach that really doesn't do much other than, babysit in a way. Like that's kind of his role. He tried running the offense last year, and he still tries to do it kind of this year. The only successful man this guy has brought to Philadelphia is the fucking tush push, bro. Like seriously, like realistically, that he has brought, that's his play.
For real.
Like I get it, bro, and that's 92 percenters, bro. Like that was a great play, but man, one play, like
I think that's actually more of the O-line coach too.
Yeah, right.
Stoutland's best in the business too, so I wouldn't be shocked. Like I would not be shocked if Jeff Stoutland went to him and said, "Look, bro,
I think that is
run this play if we're within 1 yard and it's gonna work." Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, long story short, brother, the Eagles walked into an easy opponent. They have an easy schedule, so if they take advantage and maybe they get hot, that's the only thing I see from them. They have to get hot late.
They do have a pretty easy division. Sorry, George.
Yeah, and Washington's good. Don't get like Washington.
Other than Washington, Washington looks solid. Other than their defense, that offense is. Well, they
robbed us in broad daylight. We kept talking about those trades. I forgot to bring this up. I wanted to bring this up. Jahan Dotson has done absolutely nothing, and they traded a third-round pick for him, and now Davonte Adams and Amari Cooper are getting traded for thirds. Like, damn, Howie, you might have got fleeced there, bro. Like, that might have been the first, oopsie.
Not might have. He have.
Yeah, that might have been the first oopsie from you. Like, and I loved that trade when they first did it. I thought Dotson would actually shape up a little bit.
Me too. I was mad as hell. I was like, bro,
he's done
nothing. Get a third receiver, and we only got 1.5.
Dude, he's done nothing. And then you look at guys like Dwami Brown coming out and making great plays for Washington. It's like, all right. Like there's obviously a reason why this guy was offloaded, because he can be replicated.
Yep. Yeah.
Just think about this game, Nick.
There's a few key points that I saw. To Logan's point, Jalen Hurts is not reading the defenses like he used to, and I think that is because of Kelsey retiring. Kelsey would point out a lot of the blitzes that were coming and things to look out for, and Jalen's, I feel like, having a tough time adjusting to that. That's one point. But A.J. Brown is necessary for this offense to run. That's another point. Without him, it is stagnant, that offense. And I think George can attest to this. Kellen Moore isn't the best play caller.
Horrible.
I just feel like he's not even getting the right look, though, too. Like, sometimes it just feels like he's getting overshadowed. Like, L.A., they ran like 70%. Like, guys are in motion. The Eagles are running like 25. Like,
it's very bland. The offensive play calling is very bland. Nothing intricate, nothing crazy. It's just like
correct.
Nothing even across the middle. It's like run up the middle, hit the outside. Run up the middle, hit the outside. And then it's like, if you're not doing anything, surprising, you're not keeping the defense honest. I mean, they were like, we'll just stop Barkley. If AJ gets over the top every now and then, I guess that happens. But let's just stop Barkley, and then what else are they going to do? And they're not doing anything to get their guys open. I mean, Devontae Smith hasn't had a great season, and they can do so much more with the talent they have. Goddard's playing great. I mean, they got to just make plays to get guys open, whether it's a screen or anything, just anything other than run up the middle and hit the sideline. Like, it's very bland. And then on defense, they are missing an edge rush. You are not lying, Logan. They need an edge rush. I mean, the reason they went to the Super Bowl defensively, I think, was because of Riddick. He was in every quarterback's face in the playoffs. Every single quarterback's face.
every guy they had was rushing. Like Josh Sweat was getting home all
That's-
the time.
yeah.
Like Bulls were getting home, bro. But I agree with you,
Mhm.
bro. Hassan Reddick, he was the one that was
Dude.
making that whole line tick, bro. Like he
Dude.
got home almost every single time this guy dropped back. Anybody.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what he was on. I don't remember I think it was the 49er game. Obviously, he went crazy when Purdy got hurt, but like he was like he was like frothing at the mouth like a freaking animal. I was like, dog, what's this dude on? This man's taking
rabies.
something. He's taking
rabies.
something. But man, he was playing out of his mind. And then Jalen Carter, I mean, we haven't really seen him take that big leap that everybody expected. I think that's just because that's the only person they got to focus on. You know, they just double team him, and Jordan Davis really hasn't taken the leap I expected him to take. I know y'all expected him to take a bigger leap as well, but he can't stay on the field for a whole drive. He gets winded, he's out of there, and then there's no pass rush to help. So, and then the middle linebacker play we already know is pretty mid at best.
correct.
Yeah, all the points that you guys touched on, man, I don't even want to repeat it because like there was so many good things that were said, and so on point that I don't even need to disagree. The only thing that I really want to mention is that I don't really see a difference between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? The difference. Listen, listen. The difference is on paper is the record for sure, right? But the thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, if you look at their games and the people that they played and how they finished games and stuff like that, they could easily have an above 500 record, right? But the only thing that's wrong with them that I see the same thing with the Eagles is that they're very inconsistent. And that's why I feel like what Logan said about Nick Sirianni not having the locker room is 100% on it. Because if you have the locker room, you're going to go out there and be consistent with the play calling, with the play executing. You're going to go out there, play hard for each other, for yourself, and everything's going to be clicking on all cylinders. But I feel like it's not like that. So they go out there, they have a few good plays, then they have a horrible play. They have a few good plays, and then they have multiple horrible plays. And then it comes down to the wire when you're already supposed to be blowing out these teams like the Cleveland Browns because they have no fucking offense. They should be up by 2 touchdowns, but you're at the 2-minute mark where you're hoping that you're going to win the game. And I feel like it's been like that all season with the Eagles, and the same thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's why I have the only comparison there. I do believe that you guys are better than them. Don't get me wrong. Defensively,
why you take it there though? God damn, you gotta take it.
That was a crazy comparison because the Jags the Jags got mollywopped though. A couple of times. The Bills mollywopped them, and then they just got murked in London, which is their hometown. So I don't know about that one, but I didn't make the point, but I do agree with you in terms of Sirianni. 100% has lost that locker room. I think it's because of the separation between him and Hurts. And they're definitely not on the same page. And I think the team is behind Hurts and not Sirianni. And that's a big issue.
Yeah, no, definitely a big issue.
You do know that the Eagles are one wide open. I mean wide open, by the way. Like, I mean wide open. 2 yards Saquon Barkley reception away from being a one-loss team, correct? You do know that, right?
But what I was saying, my
point wait, hold on. My fault. Hold on. Wait, hold on. You know,
plans.
You do know they walked into a different country and beat arguably the best quarterback in the NFC right now in Jordan Love, right? You do know that, right?
But they beat him after they were getting mollywopped and he got injured. Because if you don't remember the first 2 drives of that game, the Eagles were playing fucking horrendous. Unless you got to go back and watch that.
No, but I do know that Jordan Love played the majority of that game. Basically,
yeah, but the thing is that if you don't have your starting quarterback at the end of the game to come and give you a game-winning drive, how do you expect to win that game?
They had what, a minute when he got hurt? Something like
How
that.
many times have we seen quarterbacks go? Yeah,
I think he had one play. I think he actually. I actually think Malik threw one play, bro.
It was like a few plays. It was like a few plays.
He got hurt on the second to last play.
He threw the Hail Mary. I'm pretty
sure, because Malik came in and played either.
Yeah, he played
no more than two. No more than 2 snaps.
Malik played.
One snap can change a whole game.
Listen.
Don't tell me it doesn't.
You're right. Listen, and one snap that completely changed the game against Cleveland was when Myles Garrett, arguably the best defensive player in the league, jumped over our entire fucking offensive line and blocked a field goal, and they took it to the fucking house, bro. Like, that's a big play. That changes everything. Birds are up 10 at halftime, and they scored 3 fucking points on offense.
Okay, real
Like,
quick.
listen.
Correct me if I'm
Hold on,
wrong. They held down the long
I'm gonna just
snapper,
ask
right?
you a question.
They did that too.
I'm gonna just ask you a question.
They
just
got to
real
make a
quick.
rule about that because
Bro,
that's
the Eagles are gonna have a whole
point-
playoff game.
My point was that the Eagles are inconsistent as fuck. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree with that.
I 100% agree with that, but Jacksonville just sucks.
But compare
They're just
him
a
to
bad
Jacksonville.
team,
Go look at
bro.
Jacksonville's games, bro. They've had inconsistencies to where they don't win games. Go look at the games.
They've
Yeah,
gotten
that's a different type of
smoked
inconsistent, though.
twice. They've gotten and I mean smoked. And I listen. I love Caleb Williams. I know Justin loves Caleb Williams, but
Wait,
come
Justin
on,
likes
bro.
Caleb Williams?
Come on, bro. Like you're telling me. Wait, hold on. Like the Jags might have the first overall pick. Like honest to God,
Yeah.
they might have the first overall pick. The Eagles have a top 5 running back in the league. They have a top 5 wide receiver core in the league. They have a top 5 offensive line in the league when healthy. Do the Jaguars have a top 10 player at any position that they have?
But now you're missing my point. I was comparing the inconsistencies in the games. That's what I'm comparing.
You compared the teams, bro. You said the Jags and the Eagles are on the same level because of
inconsistencies. Exactly.
And their head coaches are probably on the way out. So that's the only
That's another
comparison
thing.
I see.
That's another thing.
That's the only thing I.
I would argue that the Cowboys have more inconsistencies than the Eagles, but that could be.
I agree with that. I agree with
I
that.
feel like
I
that's
agree
the
with
comparison you should have made. Like 1-1.
Yeah, I agree with that as
Alright,
well.
yeah.
I think the Cowboys and the Eagles are on more of a. The Jaguars suck, my boy. Like I listen.
Yeah, that was kind of
George,
crazy.
I
Bro.
love you, bro, but
I
but
see
bro,
what
I
he's
wasn't
saying.
I
I
wasn't
see what
saying
he's
that
saying.
no, I
they're-
know what you were
you're
saying,
missing
bro.
the whole
I know
point.
what you
You're
were
missing the
saying,
whole
but
thing.
the inconsistencies are. They're mute if you're winning games. Like that's all I'm trying to say. Like if
No,
they win
they're not.
they
No,
are,
they're
though, bro.
not.
Like,
No,
if
they're
you win
not.
that-
Because then when it comes to the
Crazy.
playoffs and you guys continue the inconsistencies, you guys are not going to go nowhere. So it's
But-
not muted.
Listen. No,
Justin
that's
and I are
my-
eating popcorn.
my
watching
point.
this.
My point is, you have to be hot at the end of the year. We all know that. Like you have to be hot to win games at the end of the year, unless you have arguably the best quarterback in the league, in Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs haven't been hot a couple times, but they get hot because he wants to get hot, right?
They always get high. in
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
December.
And trust me, and I know inconsistent. Like the Eagles team last year, like if you had this conversation with me week 16 last season before the playoffs even started, man, I honest to God, I might have agreed with you because the
It's the
inconsistency.
same team.
It's
the
not
same
the same
team without
team,
Jason
bro.
Kelce.
It's not
Same
the
team.
same team, bro. No, it's
Nah,
not. They
that-
have a top
the-
5 running back in football now.
The
I
Eagles
really,
looked disgusting at the end of the year last year. Like,
yeah. Again, James
horrible.
Bradbury
Yeah.
was playing starting minutes, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Like the
No, they
Eagles
couldn't
have
tackle.
inconsistencies.
not a single
They
player on
have
that secondary could
inconsistencies,
tackle.
bro. Do not get me wrong,
Right.
but it is nothing in compared to last year, and it is nothing in compared to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sorry, their time management's horrible. They have no offense. Their defense is awful. I mean, come on, George. Come on.
Again,
Logan.
the inconsistencies is what
Logan,
I
I
said.
got a question real quick. I know we got to get to another inconsistent team, but it's like I don't even feel like Philly is just inconsistent. I just feel like this is who they are. Like, what point of this particular season have we seen them actually dominate anything? Like, not the Green Bay game, not the Atlanta game.
No, they
not-
haven't. Yeah.
So, like, every game, I wouldn't even call it inconsistency. I would just say that's what they are. And I agree with your point, Logan, that it feels like something, whether it be coaching or whatever the hell it might be, is something holding them back from reaching that
Yeah.
potential.
Well, look, you go back to that 2017 year, right, where like they were blowing everybody out with Carson and everybody, like actually like routing teams. Like even in 22, they
Yeah.
were routing teams, bro. Like people came in and they were getting all the way up to the Super Bowl, bro. Like even the NFC Championship, like they were routing teams, bro. So the only thing now with this Eagles team is the quarterback doesn't look as good as he used to. So those inconsistencies that they are having as an offense are magnified because, again, they play in a massive market, and the quarterback who they thought and gave a massive contract to was going to take a big step forward in these coming years has really, in my opinion, taken small steps back. Not enough to where you're saying
I would
like,
agree.
okay, this guy might not be the answer and everything like that because he's here. You're stuck with him. You really don't have any other choice. But he's taken steps back. And I think that magnifies all the other inconsistencies that you have. Dude, last year was a train wreck because every single level from the front office to the coaching staff to the players had no belief in each other. I don't think they have that problem. I think there's a disconnect with the head coach and the quarterback.
I think
But
that's
outside
the
of
biggest issue
that,
right now.
dude, the roster itself, like the mistakes that they make are not like mistakes to where you like just like you want to bash your brain in type thing, like bonehead. Isaiah Rodgers did it in Tampa when he pushed the guy into Cooper DeJean on the bad play on special teams and forced a turnover. But there hasn't been a lot of those moments to where you're like, oh man, like dang. One inconsistency that I agree with you, they can't get turnovers, bro. They cannot
That's
force
just
turnovers.
the defense not getting to the quarterback. Like,
yeah, well, that's inconsistent because sometimes.
Well, that's what forces turnovers, right?
Yeah,
You know, you could either force a fumble or force the quarterback to make a bad pass. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I think a pass rush is how you get those turnovers more often than not.
Yeah.
I do want to just say thank you to Logan for saying Jordan Love is arguably the best quarterback, and he gets it. He knows what we talked about.
Bro.
He knows what we talked about.
Bro, he definitely is. Jordan Love is so tough. I've seen
enough.
enough.
He reads the game like nobody's business.
I've seen enough of him, bro.
Before the season started, me and Logan, I think the last 2 seasons, this season and last season, we have had a quarterback NFC debate every year the last 2 years.
Hey, I'll tell you one who I've been saying is ass for the last 2 or 3 years. I've been telling you for years.
Well, Brock Purdy's not ass, but Sam.
Brock Purdy is not.
I am not talking about Brock Purdy, bro. We'll talk about
Brock's been playing really good, bro. Brock's been running for his life.
George, we'll talk about him.
Go to the next one, George.
Go ahead, bring it up. Bring it up. It's a good segue.
It is a good. You know what? It is a good segue. I want to start with Nick too.
Y'all are not about to
go ahead.
Total Rain Prescott for Jerry Jones's inability to bring in talent. You walk into the season, City is top 5 by all. You came into the season confident with Jalen Tolbert as wide receiver 2. Are you kidding me? You brought in Zeke.
Are you asking me?
No, I'm speaking out loud. You bring in Zeke. Zeke is from the city. I love Zeke. Zeke is gold. It's time to go, brother. It's time to come home, sit down. You know,
he's not RB1.
Start a podcast.
Not even RB2.
Brother, you lost Tyron Smith. What the hell? Then on top of that, you had a chance to bring in Derrick Henry for just a smooth $8 million a year. You said, "Oh, fuck that."
Give me Rico Dodal.
You could have cost Stephon Diggs. His brother's on the team. You could have did that. You did nothing. I'm not saying Dak is completely not at fault. By all means, he's done some Dak shit. But
especially last game.
Especially
this game that we're about to talk about.
Especially this game. But I'm not going to sit here and act like this is the time to blame Dak. This is the time when Jerry Jones, who just almost fired his people on his weekly podcast today, he almost fired them for asking them, why didn't you bring in more people this offseason? This team is not good. You don't. Bland and Diggs, well, Diggs is coming off the ACL. Bland is hurt. You didn't fix the run defense that we knew was a problem last year. So now when your best player, Micah's hurt, it's really bad now. Even D-Law is hurt. And D-Law is not even as good as he used to be. Mozzie Smith is a waste of a pick. God, dog. You can put all 4 of us at D-tackle. At least we show a little bit more effort. I'm not even trying to be that harsh on the Cowboys, but again, as a Dak fan, I'm not saying Dak is top 5. Dak is certified top 10 for what he can do up here. And you see what he does when he gets rolling. There are inconsistencies. Absolutely. That's what separates him from that realm he's in to where the big guys are, the top dogs. But the team also is failing him when you expect Jalen Tolbert to give you anything at all. Anything. Who is your wide receiver 3? I feel like I'm at a loss right now. What is the running back's name? Rico
Dodal.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they got Devontae Turpin.
Bro. Ooh,
yeah, Turpin's probably wide receiver 3 with Brandon Cooks hurt.
Turpin. Come on, man. Even Cooks is cooked. Hell no, dog. We ain't gonna do Dak this dirty this evening.
Yeah, I agree with Justin, bro. That team is fried. Especially with all the injuries, bro. That team is fried.
I treat that like it's my team. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
You can't throw it to CD every play. I guess you probably could and be better off.
I think yesterday he had 6 targets The second closest person had 2.
Hey,
He
throw
had 14
CD.
targets. He had a
Throw
14
CD
targets,
in the backfield. Just run the ball with CD.
They
Just
do
say
that
here, bro.
too, Nick.
I know, but every play, forget about it. It's over. It's over with, bro.
Oh,
Just give him the ball.
bro,
Let's see what he
I've
does.
heard from, and I hate to say this on a pod because I'm whatever, but I've heard from several Cowboy fans I know because of course they got a huge fan base. We can't wait for Jerry Jones to be gone, and you know what I mean when I say gone, because this team is he can't run shit. He said, what did he say before the season? Find someone that can run the team better than me. My brother in Christ, I didn't want to toot myself on the horn like this. I think I could do it. I think Nick could do it. I
My
think
grandma
Nick
can run
I
that
think
team.
George can do it.
Bro.
His
I've
son
been doing fantasy football for
Say
10
the same
years.
thing, Freeze. His son could probably do it, bro.
his son
Yeah,
can do
for
it.
real, bro.
If he has a
Anybody
daughter,
else.
his daughter can do it. My
He
son-
makes it all about him too. At the end of the he
Why are
Makes
you
it Darth
doing
Vader,
this?
bro.
he literally puts the spotlight on
Darth Vader.
himself. Yeah, he
Name
really
an
does.
owner that does the post game interviews, bro.
Oh,
Name
dude,
one.
that was insane,
He's
bro.
been doing
Yeah,
it for years, Logan, since we were kids. Why are
Yeah.
you doing that?
yeah.
Get the hell out of here. You a dysfunctional franchise, bro. And I'm not saying again, because people misconstrue my words. I'm not saying Dak is Mahomes or Joe B or LJ, whatever. But he's certainly not freaking Tua. Hell no. Like, no. Bro, it's just at the end of the day, you have a B to B plus quarterback, and you surround him with C plus. I'll give a C plus because of CD, C plus talent. That's trash, bro. Hell no.
C plus was generous.
It was, dude. It was.
Rico Dodo, man.
Logan is tall. Put Logan in wide receiver too. I bet you something happens.
Listen,
Oh my God,
I know Mr. Mike wants to speak bad right now, so I'm gonna
No,
let
I
him hold
don't.
it in.
He wants
I
to
don't.
cry. He doesn't
I'm
want
gonna
to
let him hold it in for 2 more minutes, but if we want to talk about inconsistencies,
Oof,
the
Gil.
Cowboys, my goodness, bro, they look great. They looked great week 1 when we thought Cleveland was going to be pretty good, right? We thought Cleveland might have a chance to, ruffle feathers. So everybody in their heads go, "Oh man, this Cowboys team's got a chance, right?" And then New Orleans comes in,
Oof.
a New Orleans team that really now, I mean, at the time we thought was great after that week, but they ain't any good, dude. That Saints team is not that good, and especially now they don't have Derek Carr, but they're not that good,
No.
and they looked like the best team I've ever seen in my life offensively in that game. I mean, Derek Carr looked like Joe Montana. Like, it was unbelievable. Then the next week, you play Baltimore at home. You're down huge early. You crawl your way back in. Actually made it a somewhat decent watchable game at the end. All right, congrats, right? You go and beat the Giants. Everybody does. Steelers, another great game. I mean, really, the Steelers have a great defense. They really do. And the offense is obviously horrible, but the Cowboys did a good job, won the game. You're thinking, all right, let's get some momentum. And then the Lions come back into town, a fortress that, quite frankly, used to be impenetrable. I mean, it was tough going to Dallas and getting victories. People do it like they're taking candy from a fucking baby now, dude. Like, it's like no fucking issue. They come in and put belt to ass and whoop that ass. On Jerry's birthday too. I mean, I usually turn the blow-offs off, George. I'm gonna be honest, but seeing that scoreline, I was like, we can keep that score bug up all night long. Just let that one run out to 0. Because my God, I mean, we knew the Lions were good, right? But that good?
Bro, they were
Come
trying
on,
so
bro.
hard to get an offensive line
They had
touchdown.
Penny Sewell trying to score. They had Decker trying to score. They were doing. Dan Campbell must fucking hate them. Like, he must fucking hate them.
I mean,
Like, and I know
yeah.
he played.
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we?
No. I think like the Lions for one thing, but I think Dan Campbell played for them for a couple of years, and I don't think he fucking likes Jerry Jones. So I think he was trying to stick it to that man
Good for him.
all fucking day, bro. And I think that's what a lot of teams do. Like the Cowboys have that. They have that imaginary target on their back, and they don't win shit. Like that's
Puts it
fucking
there.
hard, bro. That's like the Chiefs have that thing on there for good reason, right? They always are winning, right? Dude, the Cowboys have that shit on because people just want to fucking beat Dallas. Like that America's team stuff, like that shit's real. Like people really they feed into that shit and they want to beat that team, bro. Again, and I've been, how many times have I told you guys this on this podcast? I've been saying it for years. When that C is on your fucking, or that C, that star is on your fucking helmet, everything is magnified. It is that much harder to be good. That's why the ones that have done it, it's the same thing we're wearing the Yankees. The ones that get it done in those big uniforms are the ones that everybody remembers because nobody really does it. And the Cowboys, come on, let's be honest, George. Come on, how many years has it been? I know you have a ticker. Come on, how many years? How many years? How many years? How has it been?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Logan, you know what's even nastier, brother? They
Uh-oh.
got a bye this week, so that's an automatic win for us. We don't have to
Yes,
watch that
it's a
shit.
loss for me, but it's a win for them. Yeah.
They play the next 4 games. No,
Oh, I love it. I know. I love it. I love it. Let's hear it, please. Let's hear it.
At the real Achilles heel, the 49ers.
Ooh, that's a loss. What's next?
At the actually red hot Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh, that's another loss. Even though they'll run into that town and take it over the Cowboys fans. They always do. But next.
Toss-up game with the Eagles. Who's the least inconsistent?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that's a win or loss yet because
the Texans.
anybody can show up there. Oh no! What's that? 1-3 at least.
And then at the Commanders.
Oh,
but
man.
the funny part about the Cowboys is this is gonna go one of 2 ways. They're gonna win they're either gonna win 3 of these games and shock everybody and make it look like, well, there's a chance, or this is gonna go completely off the rails. There'll be no in between. It's either gonna be they'll survive this stretch and look like a good playoff team, or it's gonna go way bad real quick. Because they still have games with Tampa Bay.
My money is not on them surviving.
They still got Cincy. You'd be a damn fool if you think the Dallas defense can stop Cincy. Even though Dallas is gonna score them back. This team, Jesus Christ. And I'm a Dak defender, but goddamn.
It's not his fault. It's not.
All I know is I want to hear the man of the hour speak about the terms, but I do know that Jerry World used to be, like I said, bro, that place used to be impenetrable. Like 6-2, 7-1, 8-0 every single year, bro. Since it opened. I've never, ever, ever seen teams walk in there and on the table, bro. Like just whoosh,
That was
right on the table, bro. Like,
Okay.
that's what they're doing, bro. Like it's mind-boggling to me. Again, I love it, obviously, because go Birds and everything. But I didn't think I would see it, George. I didn't think I would see it. Why is it happening?
George, you got to single screen it, bro. You got to single screen it.
Talk to us, George.
Nick, I want to hear what you got to say first, Nick.
No, stop trying to delay that shit. No, I'm just playing, Nick.
Nah, for real. What Justin said. Nah, I'm trying to hear you, bro.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we can talk about the good teams after.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating when before the season started with all the off-season stuff going on, especially with the first try to make move with Derrick Henry saying that he wanted to go to Dallas. He had a house in Dallas and all this, and Jerry Jones doesn't go for him. From then on is when the train started that I already knew that it was going downhill. And we had talked about this before. I've told y'all that I think we're gonna go 8-9, and now it's gonna be like maybe 5-11 or whatever the hell the record would come out to of just winning fucking 5 games. And it's just it's very frustrating because you got a man that is in control of a team that, just like how Nick said, he makes it more about him than it is about winning, dog. And when you got teams like this, you got to make it about winning. Like Logan said, you got the star in your helmet. You're going to be looked at every single day on the field or off the field, wherever the case may be. You're going to be looked at. You're going to be judged. You're going to be amplified, whatever the case is, bro. And now to go through the season where we have no run game for shit. Last game, Rico Dotto, 25 yards, the highest rush that we had. Our wide receiver 1 looks like wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 3.5 because we can't throw it to anybody else. Yeah, there's been spurts of other players doing work on other games, but it's inconsistent. Just like how you guys are mentioning, they're a very inconsistent team. And then the play calling by Mike McCarthy that he swears he's out there like fucking Bill Belichick, that he swears he knows what he's doing. I swear to God, I could run better plays than you, bro. I play Madden. I could call better plays than you, bro. Like, for me right now, they got to get him out of here, dog. I don't care who's going to be the coach. It could be an interim head coach, or if not, just put the water boy out there with a clipboard. It doesn't fucking matter, man. Get this motherfucker out of there. Please, bro, please. With the secondary, yo, you guys can't cover for shit, bro. Every single team puts up passing touchdowns on us like it's nothing. Like it's varsity playing against JV. Like it's a little league playing against a high school team, bro. Like the shit is fucking frustrating, dog. And then with the injuries on top of that, our defensive line is nowhere to be found because D-Law is out. Michael Parsons out. We lost our D tackle in the beginning of the year in preseason 1 or 2, whatever game it was. Just all together as a Cowboys fan and just watching this team is just it's very frustrating, bro. It's very frustrating. And the people that want to say that it's all on Dak, last game he had a fucking horrible game. He threw for 178 yards, 0 TDs, 2 interceptions, only 17 completions for 33 attempts. Yes, it was a bad game, but he's had good games too. And you guys don't want to put that on him, which whatever. It is going to be what it is. He's the head of the throne of that team. He's always going to get the blame. But to say that it's all on him, you guys are not watching football. You guys are not watching the games. Just overall, as a fucking team, bro, and as a fucking fan of this team, it's very frustrating when you want them to be good and make some changes and do some trades and sign some free agents, and the owner doesn't want to do shit. Mike McCarthy out there looking like a fucking idiot. And I'm sorry I gotta say it, but he looks like a fucking clown out there. He doesn't even know what he's doing. Most of the time that they zoom in on his face, like I zoomed in right now, he looks confused and doesn't know what the fuck's going on, bro. And it's very fucking frustrating, bro. It's very fucking frustrating that they're going through the season like this, and it's not going to get better. I don't think we make the playoffs. I don't think we make the wild card, and we're not even going to make a fucking trade at the trade deadline because I read it today from Jerry Jones. It's very fucking frustrating. Very frustrating.
Yeah, I think Jerry Jones just throws that target up on your back, and it makes everything difficult. And then he didn't even try to acquire anybody. It's sad.
How do you have a top 10 running back in the league, or even top 5? In my opinion, I would say top 5. How do you have a top 5 running back in the league say they want to play for your fucking team and you don't go and sign him?
Bro, I mean, I'd argue close to top 10 all time. With a lot of miles still in the tank, obviously, as he's shown, especially against y'all. I mean, yeah, George, you nailed it on the head as I thought you were gonna. I mean, it's a frustrating team to look at. I mean, again, not for me, but if I was a fan of the squad, yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. This was a team
look, this is what I got for you. This is what I got for you.
Yo, this was a team a couple of years ago who had a defense that was pretty vaulted. I mean, I didn't want to, but I did not like playing the Cowboys the last 5 seasons, bro. Like,
losing Dan Quinn hurt.
Yeah, Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn's
Big
a big
time.
one in division too. I mean, he stuck around the.
Mm-hmm.
I should have said.
And he's showing that he's better than us right now.
Yeah, he didn't stick around geographically because the Cowboys should never be in the fucking NFC East anyway. They're literally in this,
I don't know why
Texas, but
that doesn't make sense.
Regardless of the point, they can't draft at all.
Why.
Mossy Smith. I mean, that's such a fall from grace. I mean, Trayvon Diggs had one really good year because he was a ball hawk, and he still will get his in that regard, but it's tough when you don't have good safety help. And Malik Hooker's been shown flashes at times, but
mid.
Nothing special. Like there's a lot of mid. Eric Kendricks is always hurt. I mean, a guy that you did sign hurt all the time. Like Micah Parsons obviously being hurt doesn't help anybody. Doesn't help any cause. You know what else doesn't help about Micah Parsons? Where again, I don't know, but I just hate the fact that my starting cornerback feels the need to go on podcasts all the time and talk about whatever's happening on the field, let alone, having his own. Micah Parsons is too damn good to be worrying about other things in football, bro. Like, you're trying to be the best of all time, and I feel like, have more effort sometimes in the pod, bro. Like, he's got more effort in the pod sometimes, even throughout the week, bro. It's like, Micah, I love you to death, bro. You're a Penn State guy, and you're arguably the best pass rusher in football. But, bro, you see your team losing constantly or in a position that, most people, including your own fans, don't like. why in the world would you feel the need to go and talk about what I don't know, dude. Like he talks about whatever's on his mind, and sometimes what's on his mind shouldn't be talked about, especially from a star player of a franchise as big as the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry. He's another guy that looks like he's on his way out, George. That's tough to imagine for you, I know. But there's a lot invested in two guys right now. And one of them, I don't think is the best to have that much invested in. But we'll let your imagination take you to that one.
Yeah, no, that I was actually asked that once, like, who would you see gone first, Dak, CD, or Parsons? And I thought I answered it Parsons. I think it would be Parsons first because I do think that he has a little less attention on the game and more attention on the podcast, but it's only sometimes. I don't think it's all the time. Because I do believe, like, you could do multiple things at once. I think you can be great at multiple things at once, and I think that's what he's trying to show. After football, maybe he's trying to get into the broadcasting game. But I do believe if someone would be out, I think it would be Parsons before Dak or CeeDee Lamb, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, especially now, considering he's the only one that doesn't have that moolah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's just like I don't want to say Dak's a bad quarterback. Like, I mean, I don't personally think he's the best, but he's definitely top 50. He's an above average guy. Like, don't get me wrong.
Definitely above average.
Don't get me wrong. Like, he's not. I don't think he's on the Tua level. Like, Tua is. I don't think has ever been good, quite frankly. But that's a whole other story. There's just certain ways to go about things that I just feel like Dallas has been going. And again, it all leads back to one guy. I mean, it always will, and until he's gone. Like Justin said, in a fucked up scenario, like if I was a Cowboys fan, shit, I would have wanted him. Yeah, exactly, dude. Like I would have wanted. The Cowboys are so big though. Like I'm shocked nobody's even thought about that type of thing, bro. Like people are crazy. Like people are crazy. Obviously, not saying I don't want that to happen or anything like that. I'm not saying that, bro. All I'm saying is the Cowboys are such a big infrastructure, bro. They're treated more like a business than a professional sports team, and that's something
100%.
that has gnawed at them for years now. And that again leads to one man. The star has gotten too big for the field. That's really how it feels.
All right, he landed a helicopter on the practice field, bro.
Yeah. Mad distraction right there, bro. Super distracting, bro. Like, come on, you're trying to fucking focus out there and get ready for the next game, and you're coming out here distracting them, which probably takes 10 to 15 minutes. The chopper to land, you to walk out, the chopper to leave. Like, you're distracting the whole fucking team, dog. Like, what is wrong with you, bro? And are you trying to win or not?
I also heard, I could be wrong, but I don't remember who said it, but one of the players that was on Dallas said, like when they be in the weight room, it's like all glass. So like they have fans come in and like watch them work out, bro. Like that's too much, bro. That's too much.
Man, you want that focus and determination while you're working out, while you're watching film,
I don't
while
want
you're
people
going over
looking at me,
plays, while you're talking to your coaches, while you're talking to your GM, while you even sitting at home just relaxing. You want focus and determination most of the time so you can get better at your craft. If you got motherfuckers looking at your workout and trying to give you all this holler, hooler, and all this bullshit, your focus is going to go out the fucking window, bro.
I will say we could do I personally could do a whole pod on athlete podcasts and how many of these shits I do not need. It actually, Michael would be on that list of a podcast I do not need.
That's facts.
Like, no disrespect.
I like post-career podcasts.
Yes, that's fine.
Those are awesome. Like Jeff Teague's. I love Jeff Teague's podcast.
I watched that D-Rose one this morning. Damn near cried. Well,
for real? I haven't tuned in yet.
It's dope. It's dope.
All these athlete podcasts, starting with Micah, even someone that's already, he's not even in the league yet, but someone like a Travis Hunter, respectfully, and I'm in the media space. We're all in the media space. We don't care. We don't care. I'm not.
No, and it's always gonna be the same thing of what Logan alluded to, bro. You have a bad game, they're gonna say, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
It's gonna come with it. It's gonna come with the territory. Like,
well, that's the thing too. Like they're making so much money now, though, bro. It's like again, this is something that it all feels like leads up to ownership, bro. Like some owners, I feel like won't take that shit, bro. It's like, all right, like you want to focus on other things, that's fine. Go do it somewhere else. Like if you want to focus on football, it's the place to be. I don't know, dude. Like again, and Darius Slay's another guy. He does the same thing, and I just felt like, why, bro? Like I just don't understand it sometimes. That's all. Again, and I get it. I get it. They want to, make careers for themselves later and everything like that. But at the end of the day, look at George. Mike is part of that reason.
Before we get out of here, I want to change up the conversation. I want to let Nick go because we're giving a lot of light to the Cowboys and they don't fucking need it right now. The team that fucking needs it is fucking the Detroit Lions, and I want to hear what Nick got to say about them.
We look solid, but man, that was so bittersweet because I did want to see the Detroit Lions stomp the Cowboys, but losing Hutch hurts our team so bad. The way it happened, the way he went out, you could tell the wind just got knocked out of the sails of the team. Like, he's really the heartbeat of the team. Homegrown kid, went to Michigan, got drafted to the Detroit. I mean, he's everything our team is about, grit behind Dan Campbell. I mean, he makes so much sense for our team. He's the heartbeat of our defense, 100%. Having a defensive player of the year type year, and to go down like that was just sickening to watch. And, we're up big, and it was like I didn't want to celebrate. It hurt like that. It was bad. And, our offense looks great, but losing Hutch like that's a tough loss. Not only mentally, but just from what he brings to the table physically and as a leader. That was very, very difficult to watch. And I heard somebody say, I don't know if it was Kirby Joseph or one of the defenders was saying how he's the heartbeat of the team and they're going to want to go do it for 97. They want to win it for Hutch. If they have that mentality going into every week, this is for Hutch, this is for Hutch, this is for Hutch, maybe it'll be better. But it's tough losing a leader like that. We need him on our team. And it was very, very, very bittersweet because, man, did I want to stomp Dallas. I wanted to see that happen so bad. And so it was just like, it felt like I couldn't be happy about it. Bro, come on. You should have lost last year. And you know it. We got hoed. It's okay. It's just very, very bittersweet, man.
Can't wait for basketball.
Yeah, I would say I that Lions offense is dominant, right? Like,
dude,
it's
best O-line in the league, best running back duo in the league, great wide receivers, great tight end.
Well, tight end,
amazing play calling. Probably what, Sam? I still got
this
year he's been like a little, but he's still good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I feel like he's not really getting the target share that he probably deserves at this point.
Well, I think they're just more focused on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
well, when you have two dynamic running backs like you guys do, that's another thing. They're like, dude, like they're like the only team in football where you look at their running backs, both of them, and you look at them together and go, like, they're just as good as each other. They just do completely different things.
Yeah, thunder and lightning for sure. Like the definition of thunder and lightning.
Shake and bake, baby.
Yeah, and I would say the only other team that has that is Baltimore, and that's because of Lamar. And it has nothing to do with their second running back plays quarterback. So it's
exactly.
That's when CMC comes back, Jordan Mason and CMC.
That'd be interesting. But I also don't see Jordan Mason really seeing the field that much. If CMC
Shanahan loves a workhorse running back
because he's all messed up too. But one thing I will say, and I'm glad you brought it up, Nick, because obviously that offense is better than the defense. Especially the defensive line now is definitely a little worrisome. I know DJ Reader's there now, so
McNeil.
That's
McNeil has been very impressive.
McNeil has been good too.
He just got signed for a 4-year,
I saw that
contract, $55 million.
You have a great secondary and a great linebacker core, so I think that's something that can.
I wouldn't say great.
I love Alexander.
I would not.
Secondary is
The second dude, Brian Branch has been pretty damn good.
That's one
Branch
dude.
Is nasty.
That's one dude.
I get it. Kirby Joseph's pretty good too.
So
that's both their safeties that have been pretty good.
Kirby's
been good.
He's not great. Kirby is
he's not on
solid.
the same level as Brian Branch. Don't get me wrong,
I
but
think,
I'd
yeah,
rather have
Branch is
Kirby Joseph than
really,
a
really
lot of
good.
other starting
Branch is
safeties.
up
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Everybody else is here.
Yeah, but our
I agree with
corners
that.
still in man coverage are just
Yeah,
shaky.
Yeah,
Terrion
no, I
Arnold,
agree with that.
I think he's gonna be good eventually. As of right now, there's a
Yeah.
lot of things he needs to clean up, especially penalty wise.
Yeah.
You know,
Amik
Carlton
Roberts
Davis has looked solid, and Amik Robertson has.
nickel. He gets cooked in
Yeah.
the nickel at times. I like him
Yeah.
outside, but they don't
He-
use him outside.
No, I mean they got Arnold and Carlson out there. So
All I'm gonna say is, because it's dark outside, I'm getting hungry. Call
Okay.
Max Crosby.
Yeah, I heard you guys are going to try and trade for
I
Max
don't,
Crosby.
bro. It's gonna break the bank. It's gonna break the bank.
Mm.
I
Dude,
don't
I
You
don't
trying to
know.
win? You trying to win, or you?
I
need
would
to-
I
love
want to
that
see it.
guy on
I
my
want to see it.
football
I've
team,
been
man.
wanted us to sign
Oh
him,
my
but it's just
God,
I know we still want to sign Hutch when he comes back.
dude.
It's just I don't know. I
I
don't know
think
if
Hutch
they'll
will
do
be
it.
the same after that injury because remember that's a
That's
whole
a
tibula.
bad
That's
injury,
a whole
dude.
tibula. That's
It's
a
a
whole.
bad
I mean,
one.
the same,
That's-
probably not. I mean, if we're just looking at it through that lens, probably
He had
not. Do I want to
7
see
and a
him?
half
Yes,
sacks
dude.
already, bro.
Already.
I know a lot of them
Week
came in that
Heartbreaking.
one
week
game.
7. We're going into
Yeah.
week 7, 7.5 sacks. That boy was about
Yeah.
to break the
Bro.
bank for real.
Heartbreaking, dude.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But
dude,
yeah,
man,
I'd love to see us trade for Max Crosby. I'm just saying I don't think we do because I think they're gonna go on the cheap side.
You know,
Yeah.
when we got on here, I thought it was gonna be a good pod, but now I'm frustrated and I gotta go to the gym. So, Logan, tell these people where they could follow you, see your stuff before we get out of here.
I mean, I don't got much to follow right now, but I guess the Instagram is Logan Peter 9. I don't really have much going on right now in terms of social media postings. A couple things work related coming up soon, but yeah, outside of that, stick around. Next time I come on, I think I'll have more for you.
Nick J Wilk _ on IG, about the same as Logan. Don't got too much going on social media right now.
Freezy.
Freezy Sports on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the whole shebang.
Yup, that's a man with some social media.
You
influence
feel me?
right there.
You feel me, dog? You feel me?
Swing some
bigger.
follows over there.
I'll tell y'all when we cut the shit, but 'cause I don't want to jinx it. But hopefully something pretty decent. Real.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Guys, you know where you can follow me. TikTok, IG, GMike Media _ Twitter at George Mike Perez. The audio version of this podcast is available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube as well. And if you guys are into sports gambling, I run a Telegram channel where we charge $5 a month to get you winnings from anywhere from $20 to $50 to $100 a day. You'll see the link on your screen. If not, just hit me up on one of my DMs. Slide in the DMs and we'll get you on and popping. And don't forget, please pray for me because these Dallas Cowboys, I swear to God. I swear to God, bro. I need the Miami Heat basketball to
Sickening
come back already,
experience.
dog. Well, hey, thank you guys. You already know I'm gonna have you back on. Hopefully, right before playoffs. Or if not,
Yes, sir.
basketball's around the corner, baby.
I can't wait to talk about the Pistons.